Hello, our lovely Girl Awakening listeners. Welcome to 2023. I'm Jo Hendy from the Sacred Sister Project.
I'm Amanda Parker of Mayala Organics.
Come with us as we journey into this week's Awakening episode.
Good morning, beautiful lady.
Good morning, Jo.
Here we are, another Wednesday and another amazing, incredible, powerful woman. We're about to talk about the super new blue moon. I think it goes something like that.
Full blue moon.
Okay, yeah. Which apparently is, I've been reading, the largest moon for the year as far as full moons go.
And it won't be happening again for a wee while. So soak it up, people.
Yeah,
put your water out, put your crystals out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Make some really, well, we're going to talk about it with Emma, who we've had on before, and you'll really absolutely love. We love, and special guest feature
Daisy.
appearance, yes, little Daisy. We feel really excited about sharing this moment in time because it's a part of some very big energies that are changing around us, and it's really a beautiful thing just to pause and slow down and let yourself be a part of what's going on. Don't be busy around this time.
Utilize the energies.
Yeah.
So that's why we've got Emma on, because we want to make the most out of any opportunity that we get. Energetically wise, astrological wise, and all of that. So welcome, Em. We're so happy to have you and Daisy with us.
Thank you, ladies. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me around again.
Yeah. So we're going to actually just hand it straight over, Em, and let you go into all of the good stuff.
What's happening?
All right. So tomorrow, which is the 31st of August, as you ladies have mentioned, we've got the super blue full moon in Pisces. So as you sort of ladies had touched, super moon means that it's actually the closest orbit the moon is to Earth. So as I think it was Jo mentioned, that will be the closest moon that we will see. So it'll be visible, like more visible within our sky. It will be more potent. It'll be brighter. So again, I don't know whether we're drawing parallels here, but normally with a supermoon, the energies are more strongly felt. Obviously, physically being able to see it and touch it and all the things, but whether or not that actually is a true proven fact could be another thing too.
I guess the gravity is, the tides is an example that how that affects. It's the reason that there's an actual elemental intensity. Yeah.
100%. And then the blue moon. So a blue moon actually, a lot of people, like you've heard the saying, like once in a blue moon. So a blue moon is actually where two full moons occur in one calendar month. So we had the Aquarius full moon on the 2nd of August earlier this month. And then now completing the end of this month, we have another full moon. So basically it's just a really potent month to release.
Daisy's feeling it.
And she is actually a Pisces, as we're on this topic. Daisy is a Pisces moon for her natal chart. So she will definitely be feeling this a little bit more than others as well. So, yeah, the Pisceans will definitely be more comfortable in this kind of energy.
Oh, nice.
But, so anyways, where were we? Blue moon.
And possibly even a little bit more emotional than usual as well.
100%. And Pisceans are very emotional and they're very sensitive, very in tune, very psychic. So if you have any Piscean placements in your chart, whether that's your sun, your moon, or your rising, you'll probably resonate with that quite a lot. Basically with this point in time, I think we've been blessed with having these two full moons in 1 month, because we've been going through such big energetic shifts and changes, and a full moon is obviously going to illuminate and, bring light to things that we may not have noticed or they've been in the shadows. So the full moon basically illuminates that, and it's an opportunity for us to release. And then having that illumination can really, sorry, Daisy's just.
Yeah, that's all right, Daisy.
She's feeling it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Listening to what you're saying, and she's going, I kind of get it. I just want to demonstrate what I'm feeling about that.
Yeah.
So in tune, aren't they?
Yeah.
So in tune. Oh, Baba.
I just rolled up the balcony.
Someone's like, I want to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I would like to push those buttons.
Also just like, let me at the pad. Let me mash the pad. But yeah, so having this you're not going to let me talk today, are you?
Oh,
She's contributed. It's so funny, isn't it, how they go through those like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months transitions where there's just a big jump in their awareness and what they're where they're at. Yeah.
It's just crazy in terms of like, yeah, you just can't keep up with it. Like you think you're on top of it, and then it's like one more quantum leap. I think they're the definition and example of
They spin the wheel. Quantum leap. Yeah, they spin the wheel for us.
for sure.
All right, she's having some boobies, so let's hope that
Let's focus for a moment.
Yeah. So I think having this beautiful moment in time where we've got these 2 full moons, giving this perfect opportunity to release everything that we've been feeling, you know, not just this moon, shall I say as well, is the last full moon of the zodiac sign. So it's the final ending and completion of the whole year cycle. So from the full moon we had in Pisces last year, it's basically an ending and a completion of that. And yeah, it just ties into so much more too, as we'll sort of get into it. We have quite a few planets still in retrograde. Actually, there's 7. So
yeah, that's huge.
There's a lot of energy, and any retrograde planets are always asking us to turn inward and really turn within, slow down. That's essentially what happens when a planet goes retrograde. It slows down with its orbit towards Earth and with how they're actually going with their normal speeds. And then so it goes and backtracks degree points of the zodiac signs that it's already been to. So it's like refining and just going back over, you know, bringing up past things, reflecting on what worked, what didn't, what was, you know, what needs to change moving forward, because it'll kind of like in a retrograde, it goes like forward. It'll hit this degree point and then it goes backwards to a certain degree point and then it will go forward again past that. So it kind of works over that area of your chart a few times. So when we have that, it's a really beautiful opportunity to really just slow down, turn within.
Yeah, that's a really you know, with breath work and things like that, like it's just a really amazing time to even think about bringing more of that into your life, isn't it? And as a way of tuning into what's happening and what that brings to you, like the insights that brings or what might come into mind.
The other thing that my understanding of retrograde too is another opportunity to look back on parts of us that we haven't healed or haven't actually looked at and dealt with. And so they come back around for us to have another view, like a different perspective on, and be able to maybe clear it out this time around.
Yeah, 100%. And it obviously depends, like each planet brings its own signature as to what it's going to be bringing up for each of us. So even though we have like 7 planets in retrograde right now, the only reason that we're probably really feeling this more deeply personally is because we have both of the personal planets, Venus and Mercury, which we feel more directly, because these retrogrades don't happen. I mean, Mercury retrogrades 4 times a year, but Venus only retrogrades once every 18 months. And to have these two both happening together is quite rare, and it's a really internal point. And so, you know, there's so much beauty and things that are going to be coming out from the other side of these retrogrades too. And then this moon falling in the middle of all of it, it's just like, you know, here's the time where you've gone through, you've gone back and you've revisited everything. You know, you've decided that this is what you're taking with you, this is what you're letting go of, and using this moon to actually release that and make that the release point. And that's going to be, you know, I think that's why we've been blessed this month with these 2 moons and, you know, being a blue moon. So I think that is really, really powerful and really cool that we have that. And it's just like the universe and the energies are always looking out for us, I think, which is amazing when we actually start to slow down and understand that it's working with us in the way that we need to have these periods of downtime. We can't be go all the time, and it needs to slow us down and, you know, work on the work that we actually have to do.
Yes. Absolutely. It's so funny you say that, because you know, we've had a lot of talk around how people blame certain things too, you know, and it's like you've got to stop blaming this Mercury retrograde or the full moon, or I'm feeling like this because of this. We need to utilize it and, you know, and use it to our advantage and take an opportunity when it arises and start asking for help and support and bring it in.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
Daisy.
like, yes, girlfriend. And that's exactly right. Like, I always want to use astrology as a tool to empower people, not to use it as an excuse, not to make it as a limiting force.
Yes.
You know, it's just highlighting ways in which you can understand the energy so that you can better work with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, what better time than now? And if people, you know, haven't been taking the time to slow down, like, they're literally going to get forced, like, whether they like it or not. Like, there's almost like a force, like upheaval or something kind of stopping them in their tracks, which it's the energy. And they don't, obviously some people don't realize what is happening in the stars or the sky, but they're still living that and playing that energy out regardless, which is amazing. So if you have the ammo and you're knowing what is coming up and how to work with it, like, that's such a powerful tool and such a gift in itself. So yeah, I love that we can use it that way.
Yes. Oh yeah, because when you're just saying that, I was hearing like with that, because the part of the Piscean energy can be like seeing yourself like the suffering, the victim, the martyr, and in the shadow side. But then the other side is the higher consciousness and the illumination, if you want, that comes from seeing how things serve you as opposed to, you know, as you say, punish you.
And so if we take it back to this this Piscean full moon, so as you've mentioned, like, these traits that we have of Pisces, so, you know, I'll talk about the highest expression and we'll also go into the lowest expression. But the highest traits of Pisces is they're the dreamer. You know, they're able to see beyond, you're able to see beyond the current reality that we are in. Our 3D reality maybe, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're able to like see beyond, you know, this current reality that we're in. They're able to ascend and see lots of other realms and any kind of things. Like, the Piscean energy is boundless, essentially. There's no form to it. It's very flowing, and that's why it's a water sign. It's the two fish, right? It's that free flowing energy, and they can really let life sort of just flow and, you know, do the ebbs and flow of life. They're really beautiful at that. But the shadow to that is one being stuck in that victim mentality, trying to escape from reality and not actually being aware that, yes, you know, you can be up in the stars and be in that ethereal land all you like, but you actually live here in a 3D dimensional world that you kind of have to understand the 3D dimension that we're in, and you can't escape that as well. So another shadow trait of Pisces is wanting to escape. So be really aware, like, around this time, that you're not actually escaping all of these feelings that are coming up through these retrograde periods that have given you this gift to actually explore, because this moon is going to be really emotional. It's going to bring up emotions. Anything with Pisces, and especially a full moon, is always going to be heightened emotions. Tap that in with the super moon, and then we haven't even spoken about the other big player here, but this moon is falling in conjunction with Saturn. So that means the moon and Saturn are pretty much lining up together. And what my take on this is that Saturn is really asking us to be that responsible, grounded person in this 3D reality. Saturn is very much the ruler of he's the Time Lord. He rules our concept of time. So he is really asking us to, okay, you know, you've got all these dreams, but can they actually be brought and grounded into this 3D reality, or are you too busy living up in the clouds? So Saturn's going to make sure that you do the work to ground everything in. You know, Saturn sometimes gets a bad rap, but really what he just wants us to do the hard work, to be responsible. He's like that strict father who has your best good at your highest good at heart, but, you know, he wants to make sure that you learn the lessons and you do the work. So we have that happening right next to this moon. So if you're not wanting to feel the emotions, to actually, you know, embody this energy, Saturn is going to give you a really rude awakening and be like, actually, this is like, it'll either kind of lift a veil for you, or something will be brought up for you that you're like, holy shit, like, how did I not see this? Or, you know, I don't know how I was playing off in the, you know, living up in reality. So Saturn can do that. But if you're working with it and you know, you're doing the work and you're kind of feeling the emotions as they're coming up for you and you're able to release them, then Saturn will reward you. You know, that's the other thing, that Saturn is actually, you know, he will reward you with your hard work. So if you actually can move through all this process as we have been. Sometimes for some people, especially with the Pisces moon, it's the last sign of the zodiac. So we've got endings and completions, and it might be, somewhat abrupt for some people as well. And so if you can actually work with that, be okay with letting it go. Like after this moon has passed, Saturn will reward you. So that's the other thing that we have to, take into consideration with this particular moon too. So there's, the other thing that kind of came to mind as well with this is it's literally such a moon and a time for quantum leaping. So as I mentioned before, it's like we have this access to, this dreamy Piscean energy where we can go off up into the ethers and we can, tap into our psychic and creative abilities, because Pisces are also very creative. And it's like Saturn is here as well to help you ground that in. So Saturn is actually like, if we kind of think of Pisces as like this boundless kind of misty energy, Saturn is going to be there to anchor. It's like a bottle that's going to capture that mist and keep it down here on Earth, if that makes sense.
I love that. Capture the mist.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. It can be really, like I said before, it's very free flowing and not wanting to be contained, not wanting to, conform in any particular way. It just wants to go with the flow. But Saturn is really asking you that, unfortunately, yes, in this period of time, we do have to conform to a certain way. And that is the way of this 3D dimension that we live on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
a beautiful, but that isn't that just like, it's quite exciting if you're willing to set yourself free, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I think we've been talking for a while now with like a lot of different things that have been happening over the last few years about the light and the dark, and the more light, the more shadow. And if you're willing to embrace your shadow and do the work, you will
be rewarded.
And the expansion that comes with that, and what we're just sharing in this, what you were just sharing in with this this moment with the frequencies that are here, the planetary energies that are lending us, that are gifting us with this potential, this vibration to pick up on and resonate with, isn't it really? There's so much. It's like the next step is here, the next step is here. Just keep walking forward, and trusting, surrendering, and believing in the beauty, as you were saying, as opposed to the grief or the suffering, or
I just keep hearing in my mind or in myself, giving and receiving. So it's like giving yourself an opportunity to take on whatever's being delivered, and then being open to receive what comes afterwards. It's like it's a constant giving and receiving of self. If you want to grow and you want to evolve, there's some challenges. That's just part of who we are. We love a challenge. We didn't come here to take the easy route. It's like, no, as a being, we love to be challenged, but we also love to receive, and we love to receive the gifts and the love and the acknowledgement, for the hard work you do put in. That just using and utilizing all these beautiful planets that are doing all these wonderful things for us.
Activations.
Exactly.
They're activations. All of this is activations.
100% it is. And sorry, I love
Daisy. We need to understand Daisy language, because I'm sure it's saying.
I know. She's like, I don't know if you know, guys, but I'm also the center of attention here.
And I'm a Pisces, so right now.
She's like, I'm a Pisces moon and I'm a Leo rising. So my Leo rising wants to be seen and heard. My Pisces moon wants to show you all my emotions today.
And you're her moon, because you're her mama. So it's like,
the emotional safety.
And you're her spiritual light as well. Wow, that's really cool.
And just with what you were saying before, Jo, I love that you were talking into that receiving aspect and giving to receive and vice versa, and having to be open to the flow of that. Pisces obviously is a feminine energy as well, and the feminine, we know, is about the receiving. And so you're spot on exactly with what you're saying. It's like, how can you be more open to receiving this energy? And sometimes as we receive, like as you mentioned, there has to be sometimes a surrender, or you've got to give up something in order to call in something as well, or to receive something. So I think that is exactly what this moon is asking you. It's like, what are you willing to sacrifice, give up, or release in order to fall in this new energy and, you know, these new activations, which they're coming, they're slowly coming.
Yeah.
For me, I keep getting a massive thing around the spring equinox, which is on the 23rd of September. A lot of the planets will be moving out of their retrograde, going direct again. So the energies are going to be picking up. There'll still be a few of the outer planets still in their retrograde points, but the outer ones don't affect us too much because, again, for 6 months of the year, they're already in retrograde. So we're used to those particular planets retrograding. So it's more these Mercury will go direct on just after the Virgo new moon that we'll have, which is on September the 15th.
Yeah.
So Mercury will then go direct. So again, that energy will pick up, and Venus is going to go direct next week on the 4th. So we'll still be in what we call their shadow period.
Yeah.
But again, that shadow period is that final last little bit where it's kind of already explored that last few degree points, and it's just kind of finishing up its little journey before it moves further than where it had before.
Yeah.
So, and then for me, this spring equinox point, I think, is just going to be where we get that permission, and that it's almost like the floodgates are going to open, and everything that you've been working on, internalizing, slowing down for, is going to be manifested and called in. And, you know, like if we're living cyclically, it's spring. You know, the equinox point actually marks, the spring bloom. And so, you know, all these seeds that we've been planting and sowing, and all the work that we've been doing over the winter, and, you know, all this releasing, you know, pulling the weeds out and getting everything out of the garden to make sure that when spring comes and everything blooms up, that we've got the right flowers and the right plants that we wanted to grow, and everything.
And a strong foundation. Yeah. That's so beautiful. And the funny thing is, talking about Venus, we walk in the morning, and when Amanda and I meet, it's still dark, but Venus is like the brightest star. And at the moment, it's so bright up in the sky, and it's like, hello, you know,
just on the horizon, just above the horizon. Like,
it's wild. And she's
so,
there all the time.
Well, because she was in her retrograde, so up until I think it was must have been 2 weeks ago, she was an evening star. And then when she hit her Kazemi point, where she came in line with the sun, and then she fell into the sun, so she becomes the morning star. She'll be the morning star for quite a while before she then catches back up to the sun at the next Kazemi point. And then, she shifts and changes from the evening to the morning star. She's on an 18-month cycle.
Wow. So beautiful. I feel so much love and just, I don't know what it is. Every time I look at her, I just feel like it's this princess kind of, you know, beaming down on us. It's like, you are, hello, good morning, thank you.
No, she's a beautiful energy, and she's one of the few, apart from the moon, she's the only feminine planet that we have. All of the other planet archetypes are all masculine energies. So that's why she's the representation of the sacred feminine.
Yeah. Wow. That's so interesting.
So kind of like really appropriate that she's here right now.
In and amongst all of this. And like it's almost like, you know, obviously she does have this morning star, but this rising, but it's just like encouraging that, you know, feminine to keep rising. And, you know, we've obviously in history, we've been repressing that feminine energy. And so it's like, how can we actually let this bloom up even more? So there's just like that extra little signature that she goes through her period of the underworld, where she goes as a night star and then comes and rebirths as the morning star. You know, that's a signature of us stepping into our power and rising up into the feminine energy as well. And she has those constant cycles too. So it's, a really beautiful time.
And with you just listening to you say that, like around the feminine energy and rising into our power, and that timeline of like how in the past, you know, many eons ago, we were a matriarchal society, and then we went into the patriarchal society and, you know, became more war orientated, but now we are moving back into that time where, you know, the sacred feminine is holding the space, and more into that right brain process of creative thought and feeling and heart space, and where, you know, times of peace, as opposed to maintaining that kind of dogma of, you know, you have to do it this way, and, you know, there are layers where you belong, you know, you stay in your space. The feminine flow and the feminine energy is a really big part of also what's been illuminated. Feel like with the, this opportunity with the full moon for men and women to embrace that within themselves.
Yeah, 100%. And we're obviously, we're made up of both the masculine and the feminine. We have to have that healthy balance. We can't really, there's obviously times in our life where sure we may need to go into more of that feminine receiving mode, and we may need to shift more into that masculine kind of work at mode. So we always are playing that balance as well. That's what we're made up of as humans.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Now, you've been so amazing with sharing, what's happening out there in the sky and everything. And we've talked a little bit about, what we can do to utilize them. Is there any tips that you can give for our listeners to do, or what do you do in these times?
Yeah. So for instance, I will always go to the beach. I'm so lucky that I live close to the beach. So the beach for me, and going for a swim, regardless if it's the middle of winter, I will always swim, immerse, put my head under, especially with a water moon. That's just such a beautiful way to get in touch with that flowing, watery emotional energy. So the best thing that you can do is, try and get into some form of body of water and immerse your head under, and really just allow that to cleanse you. And if you're not going to do any specific rituals, that can be a ritual in itself, is to just jump into the water and just ask to be cleansed of whatever it is that, you're intending to release, and that it's washing away everything, if it's worries, doubts, fears, that water is just going to wash it away and, alchemize it into something else. So that's a really beautiful practice that you can do. And then the other thing as well is really grounding. So not only if you have the luxury of being able to go to the beach, dive into the water, get yourself fully immersed, the head under, everything, and then go and lay on the earth. Go and actually intentionally lay down, because on this axis point of Pisces, we have the opposite sign, which is Virgo, and Virgo is the earth energy. So you've got the water and the earth. So what a beautiful way to honor both of those energetic points. Then, water, getting in the water and then laying on the earth. The other thing is meditation. If you're not a meditator, or that is hard for you, this is the time to begin or to turn within. This is such a potent time. And I don't know about you ladies, but in my meditations, I've been so crystal clear. It's just been insane, what I've been able to tap into, because we've got Mercury in its retrograde. So that's the time where we've got, that divine communication. Things are slowing down and the messages are coming through to us. And then in particular, when this moon clicks over into Pisces, which will happen at 11:37 tonight, where it shifts from the Aquarius to Pisces, and it'll be in Pisces for 2.5 days. But in that next 2.5 days is really, dropping in, meditating, and just noticing as well your dreams. Your dreams will probably be a little bit more vivid or wild than normal. Pay attention to that, because that is what that can be a way in which Piscean energy can communicate to us. So be aware of your dreams, water, grounding, oceans, and if you want to as well, and playing with the opposites and the balance, it's always nice if you want to write a list of everything that you're clearing out or releasing, or you're not taking with you any longer. And, a full-on ending and completion, because if there's any moon to release under, this is the one. This is the one. It's the end of the zodiac sign. It's, a really potent time to close the door on something for good. It's, we're not taking this forward to the next moon cycle. So, you can write a beautiful ritual, write everything down that you're letting go of, and then you can either go and burn that. You can do what you like with it, bury it to the earth if that calls you as well. Normally with a fire moon, so that would be more where I'd use the fire, but sometimes it can be beautiful to work with the opposite element of the sign as well. So, tune into your intuition as to how that looks and feels for you, but that would be a really beautiful time to just sit down, have a meditation, see what comes up, what you're feeling, whether it's a belief, whether it's a fear, whether it's something physical in your body, whatever it is that you're wanting to release. Tune into that and actually allow the energy to help you move that and let it go.
Transmute it. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I've been sitting on this pile of wood and garden just debris for a while now, And the beginning of the week, I was like, I'm going to have a fire this weekend. I've been waiting to have it. And I was like, oh, but the Pisces full moon, this kind of thing, but I kept getting fire. And like, I have a lot of air and water and earth. I don't have really any fire in my chart.
Yeah.
But just literally what you said, it feels like it's a great activating energy for me personally to kind of maybe like to release.
The time is now.
Yeah, the time is now. Yeah.
And the other thing as well, we're obviously coming in towards spring too. So, spring clean, tidy up your physical space, your home, like you said, there's like the wood and the things that have been laying around that you're wanting to get rid of. Like, have a look around and just see like, oh, actually, I'm going to clean up my pantry. I'm going to, whatever that looks like for you, that can also be a really beautiful thing in terms of releasing and just shedding the weight of, your physical possessions around you as well.
Well, it's all vibration, isn't it? Everything that we're talking about, it's all vibration. So it's like, even using what you said about the swimming and utilizing the vibration of the ocean, and then us and then grounding ourselves, all of it is symbiotic or symbiotic, where it's all working together. And with the energy so high around at the moment, it's why not jump in, clear out the old, bring in the new, have a new mindset, create a new mindset. It's like all new, but we get an opportunity to wipe the slate kind of thing and bring in something that we want moving forward. And it's happening so quickly these days. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
It is. It's just, I can't believe how quickly, like from moon cycle to moon cycle, I'm like jumping on Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, it's like full moon time already again.
I know. I mean, I follow you and I love your posts, but I feel like, shit, has that been that already? Are we there already? God, I felt like I missed that last week, but that was like a month ago.
I know. And that's, I guess, like this other point that I mentioned before, the quantum leaping in the time, and like, the timeline's just moving so quickly. It's like, now is the time, people. Now is the time.
Now is the time. It's like next week. Now is the time. And it's like last week. Now is the time. It's like, it's the truth. Something different happening every moment. And it is, it's different energies that we can utilize, but it's all happening so quickly. And we need to, and that's us as beings. We're evolving into this place where, there's nothing to hold on to anymore.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, all the time.
You can't hide any longer.
And why hide, really? That's why do you want to hide, It's exciting.
Be your own authentic self, as what I said.
Yes, I loved your dance the day. I kept saying to Amanda, it was confronting for me even to watch you do that, because I've been watching and I've been asked many times to come and do like tantra, whatever dance or whatever.
Do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like something in me goes, oh my God, And I loved watching you do it, because I was like, I just love that. It looks so freeing and beautiful. And I know on that post, which I want to ask too, you were looking for some women to jump on board with you
for mentoring,
for change, shift and change. And so if there's anyone listening who's ready to step up and have Em, support them on this journey, and using everything that she knows, which is so knowledgeable and it's so refreshing and beautiful, and you're so on point all the time. I say, get in contact with Em. She's on Instagram as Peace, Love,
Alchemy,
Cacao. No, Peace, Love, Alchemy. It is Alchemy, Cacao.
It used to be Cacao, and then I
thought so. Yes. Peace, Love, Alchemy. But yeah, she is incredible, and anyone that wants to make a shift, jump on board and get in contact with them. Is there anything? This is a nice, short, little compact podcast today for our listeners, just to get them on board with the energies that are surrounding us at the moment. But is there anything you wanted to add before we finish up, Em?
No, but just back to that sensual dance that you were speaking of.
Yes.
You have to go and do it. So I was the same as you. Like for me, dance has been like, I've had this block to it. I've never been like, I'm not a dancer. I would never dance, like whatever, like insert any kind of excuse, any kind of thing. Like I was that person. And 2 weeks ago, or was it 2 weekends ago, my girlfriend was like, hey, I'm going to this sensual embodied dance class if you want to come. And I was like, this was really, really uncomfortable, but you know what? I'm going to just do it. Like, because I've been feeling called to do it for ages. So I was like, right, I'm going to go do this. And it was actually the most liberating and freeing experience I've ever had in my life. And like, I can't even explain to you, like when she was talking, like this is the facilitator at the start of the night, because it was a 3-hour thing. Like it was
It's a workout.
And she was like, you know, talking about what we're going to be doing through the night and what we're exploring, and I was just like shitting my pants. I was like, what have I signed up for? Like, abort.
I'm like, I want to go.
And then as we got into it, and you know, it was just, I just can't even explain to you the shifts that occurred. So please, if anyone is listening, sensual embodied dance classes, and it's not like you're not following anything. It's just your own. It's not even a dance class. It's just movement and just allowing your body to move however you want and being in that space. It was just, and it just gets you out of your head into your body. Like such a beautiful practice as well around this full moon. If you want to dance. Dance.
Pisces is about music, isn't it? A lot of musicians actually have a lot of Piscean energy, and
it's that arty, creative energy too.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually have done something what you talked about. It was actually went to a yoga class with a friend who was running it, and she said, "Oh, we're going to just do some."
She tricked you.
She tricked me. We're just happy, and we're going to do some. What did she? Something dance. It's like a trick dance or something, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And she goes, "There's no movement. It just I want you to get up, and I just want you to move around each other, and just move your body to the music." Well, I kind of was really resistant, and then I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? You know, nobody's watching me. I'm sure there's other women here that are feeling the same." So I started to let go, and then all of this emotion came up inside of me, and all of a sudden I was bawling my eyes out, dancing, like freaking out, having this
alchemizing
profound experience, and I was blown away that this was happening to me through dance, and I know that that's part of my way through is that whole dance. And the other thing was oh my god, what is the transcendental meditation where they do the spine kundalini. I know there's something in that for me. I've never done it, but I'm being drawn to that at the moment as well. So very interesting.
Beautiful.
All in the body.
But with lady we had recently, Britt Laidlaw, she that she as dance being part of her life, that was also part of when she was in her deep, like, you know, mud of the lotus phases, somatic therapy and dance, unchoreographed dance was part of her healing process.
Big thing.
Which is awesome. But there's a lot of evidence around, like there's actually some doctors here in Western Australia, and I know in Europe it's a very big thing, like how dance is a very healing process. They're embracing it for like cancer therapy. Chronic illnesses like that is like because of how it affects the body, and there's a lot of research that shows like how it releases the fascia and promotes the fluid balances in our body as well. Like, you know, there's that very structural part of it. It's very real science, like literally quantum science, but very real science. So there's like there's no reasons to kind of buy into the fear. Like there's so much reward there, and just feeling into your body and responding to music, which is also a frequency and an activating force. So choosing your music to do that.
Let's get out there and dance.
Yes, get out and dance. Go to the beach and dance.
Yes.
And then lay on the sand afterwards.
Absolutely.
Last year I went to Blues Fest for 5 days, and I swear I lost like 5 kilos. That's why like being in bliss and dancing for 5 days to all these incredible artists who are, you know, it's such an incredible space to lose yourself in. As well as a daisy hug. That's a beautiful space.
We are going to let you go and be with your beautiful girl. But thank you so much, Em, for coming on today. And I'm sure
thank you for having me
on for another astrological occasion, no doubt.
Yes. I love it. Thank you so much for having me, ladies. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you for sharing. By the way, do you have any energy and any placements in Pisces?
No, I don't, which is very, I think this is why I have hardly any water in my chart, and this is why I'm surrounded by 3 water moons.
Okay.
Daisy's a Pisces moon, Charlie's a Cancer moon. I've got all 3, and Jake's a Scorpio moon.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
epic. Wow.
Emotions and
That's a beautiful reflection.
yes, aren't
Thank you, Em.
Thank you, beautiful lady.
Amazing.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, and remember, all links to our guest are in the notes. Leave us a comment here or message us on Instagram how our guest today connected with you, or perhaps something you wish to share. A special thank you to the blissful Ksenia Luki for our theme song. Joe and I will be with you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
She teaches me lessons, and boy does she sing. Her voice sways like a hummingbird, flies like a shooting star. She whispers, you were never born, so you will never die.